This is the story of a journey that started off as a simple idea. When this whole thing started, I thought it was going to be easy. I was wrong. First, I gathered my supplies. A couple of parsnips, a purple sweet potato, olive oil, and salt and pepper. I made sure that I had everything ready before leaving. Things were looking promising. I then preheated the oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. I was looking for a slow and steady roast, and I figured this might be sufficient. I cut off the ends of the parsnips and sweet potatoes, leaving the good stuff ready to be utilized. The mandolin was brought out. I got a feeling in the pit of my stomach that something would go wrong, for I had never used one before. But what is exploration and discovery without going through with the things that may make you afraid? I attempted to use a parsnip on the mandolin but couldn't get it to work. Fearing that I may slice off a bit of my finger, I moved on to the sweet potato. I had difficulties at first, but then got into a groove. However, it didn't last long. When the potato became small, it also became impossible to use the mandolin, so I moved on to the next piece. I used the mandolin on as much of the sweet potato as possible. Unfortunately, I was forced to use a knife on the parsnips and leftover potato pieces. The slices were put in a glass bowl. Olive oil, salt, and pepper were added, and the ingredients were tossed. That's when things went further south. The bowl was too small, and the ingredients began going overboard. They weren't suicidal, to my knowledge, but they still left in droves. Their survivors were laid out on a flat piece of metal and spread out into even layers. They said a prayer to the gods, asking for a safe journey to where they were headed. I knew I was sending the men into a dangerous situation, into uncharted territory. But I had faith that they would make it out alive. I was hoping they'd be in and out in short time. I was wrong. I checked on them every 10 minutes. They said they were doing fine, but it seemed to me they were making no progress. After the third 10-minute period was over, I checked again. They were still doing fine, but again, no progress was made, and they began to get sick of me looking over their shoulders. 2 or 3 more 10-minute periods passed. I'm not exactly sure how many because I lost count. Time was going slowly, and yet time was passing and they were still not done. Eventually, I pulled them out. They were okay, but a bit crunchy. Little did they know they were to be my lunch. Or maybe they knew. Maybe that's why they went overboard? Thank you for listening to my story. It's a tragic tale, unfortunately, but there is a lesson to be learned. Things aren't as easy as you think they might be. Sometimes there are roadblocks to your homicidal behavior.